Hey guys, and welcome to Dev and the Bear. How's it going? Hope everybody's had a great Thanksgiving. Had a pretty good holiday so far. We got some pretty good fights coming up. The Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland card, that whole card is absolutely stacked.
Yeah.
And it's free. And I'm always going to be an advocate for free fight events. Because they're free.
I feel like especially like that too. But
they're not $80.
Yeah, they're not $80. You don't have to sell your soul to, go and watch these fights or anything. Like all you gotta do is just have ESPN Plus. So somewhat free.
They're not $65 amateur cards.
Yeah,
it's a free pro card.
You don't have to pay for parking.
Yeah,
it doesn't get filled up all the way.
Yeah.
You get to just sit and hang out, watch pro fighters fight from the comfort of your home. But yeah, no, this is a great free card, especially as of recently. I feel like the free cards we've had recently haven't been like the hottest.
Yeah, they've had some pretty solid fights here and there, but for the most part, they go about how you would expect them. But this one, I think, is set up really, really well, and we'll get into that in just a minute. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Thompson and Holland fight, kind of break that down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the most important part of this fight is whoever wins, what are you doing with them? And then whoever loses, what are they going to do? Because Kevin Holland is already retired, and now he's back.
Yeah.
Stephen Thompson's talked about retirement for a while now, or maybe not of his own volition. I think other people have asked him about it. But yeah, if Stephen Thompson loses, say he gets knocked out by Kevin Holland, it's like, okay, maybe you should hang it up.
Yeah.
Get ready to. And then Kevin Holland, what if he loses? It's like, yeah, you should have stayed retired, buddy.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I like this fight. I mean, both these guys fight exactly how they want to fight, so they're both gonna have a stand-up fight. I don't see if there's a gauging in the clinches and stuff like that. Like if that ever happens, I think it's because Kevin Holland has closed the distance.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well.
And so I think if there's any type of grappling, it's gonna be Kevin Holland engaging that. But it's also kind of weird because Stephen Thompson has lost a couple in a row now, and we're kind of seeing him. Of course, he's on the back foot of his career, and he's well aware of that as well. He has good head on his shoulders, and he keeps things real. He's a positive person. They call him the NMF for a reason, but he also understands that he's on borrowed time at this point when it comes to combat sports. He's done it for a very long time.
Yeah.
But what's crazy to say though is that he's still number 6 in the welterweight rankings.
Yeah, because he's just so respected. I think is a big part of it. Everybody knows that at any point he could win any of his fights. The fights he's lost is because of fighting wrestlers. And that's kind of something that's upset him is he's like, they keep putting me up against grapplers. Let me fight a striker. That's what people want to see. So let me fight a striker.
Right.
So I think he thinks this is going to be a stand-up fight, and I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Holland's going to take it to the ground. Otherwise, why not stay retired?
I mean, he has been training at Main Street a lot, though. I will point that out.
Yeah.
So I do expect a lot of stand-up. I think he's working on those hands. Kevin Holland loves to box. The way somebody described him is that it's like watching someone in a bathroom fight in high school. And I think that's the best way to put that. It's just it's like watching some kid gets in just to throw down by the urinals or something.
But you look at his last fight, and maybe not his last fight.
He lost to Gilbert Burns, and I think Bilal after that.
Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
Talking about Chimaev.
I think he. Okay, so that's right. So his Tim Means fight is the one I was thinking of because I remember I was thinking of one that he won. So his Tim Means fight, he started initiating the grappling. I think he understands he has to start grappling if he wants to do this, but then he retired after his last fight. If he's coming back, I assume he's doing it to give it one more legitimate shot at a title run.
Yeah.
And if he's going for a title run, he's going to fight smart.
He's going to be an all-around complete fighter. Complete MMA fighter.
I expect him to go for, maybe not shoot for takedowns or anything, but I don't think he's going to sit there and strike with Stephen Thompson.
Just be more aware of what he's getting into, in the sense of where he's at with the fight or, with his distance and stuff like that.
His one advantage over everybody is how rangy he is. He's not really going to have that against Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson's whole thing is range.
Yeah, so, and he prefers the range too.
Yeah, So I don't know. I think on the feet it is interesting and it is really fun. I think Stephen Thompson takes it on the feet by decision.
I think if it stays on the feet, yes, because he's going to be able to keep Kevin Holland at bay.
He's gonna beat up those legs.
Yeah, he's gonna beat up the legs. He's gonna do a lot. I'm expecting a lot of side kicks from him
Yeah.
to keep him away because he has such long arms. Um, Kevin Holland he likes to brawl for being such a long guy as well. He likes being in the pocket. I think if with Stephen Thompson though is like he's gonna have to try to evade that as much as he can. He's actually really good at it as well. But we have seen him where he's gotten rushed. He got rushed against Tyron Woodley. He got rushed against Darren Till, and so he got dropped as well. So I think that's also where Kevin Holland kind of has that advantage as well. It's just gonna be about like I don't know if Kevin Holland's unorthodox style overcome Stephen Thompson's just years of discipline in karate and stuff like that. It's a hard fight. You know what's crazy though is so like one thing I was gonna point out is that Kevin Holland also retired out of frustration because he wanted the Neil Magny fight after
Yeah.
the D-Rod fight after the Daniel Rodriguez fight, but Daniel Rodriguez, he ends up fighting Kevin Holland's opponent, this and that. It was a big shit show, but pretty much Daniel Rodriguez got no, actually, fucking, I don't know, man. Just check it out, look it up. But pretty
We
much
talked
like,
about it.
yeah, we talked about it, and so Kevin Holland retires out of frustration. But now this is his chance, though. This is his chance to be exactly where he wanted to fight the fighters he wants to fight. Because he wants to start fighting these big names. He wants.
Yeah,
to
you
see,
beat Stephen Thompson, and that puts you in there.
he's gonna be in the top 10 after that. I don't know where he's ranked at the moment. With
Yeah, I'm not sure.
let's see, with the welterweight division, even if he is ranked, but I feel like this is a very big win. Like this is a must win for him. With more Kevin Holland than Stephen Thompson. Of course, Stephen Thompson loses. I'm sure he's probably. I mean, the possibility of getting cuts there, the big possibility of retirements
I was
there.
about to say, I think it's just as much a must win if he's still trying. If he's still trying,
Yeah,
it's a must win.
yeah,
If he's not, then he's just trying to fight out his contract and retire.
yeah. Like that's the thing about with
Because
Kevin.
he'll go to karate combat. You know he will.
Yeah, in a heartbeat, and he would probably have so much fun if he went over there. But the thing with Kevin Holland though is like this is your chance to break into the top 10 without having to fight a grappler. Like realistically, if you think about it, like this is look at
Stephen Holland's not shooting for a takedown on anybody.
Imagine if he does though.
That'd be hilarious. Imagine if he takes him down and then gets a freaking like head and arm choke or something.
He gets a freaking calf slicer or some shit. Like he shoot like I know that they've already made the joke. I think Stephen Thompson like, don't worry, like I do touch gloves when I fight people. Like you don't have to worry about me shooting for a takedown. But I think Kevin Holland takes it just for the fact of I think Kevin Holland takes it just because he's gonna make it his fight. When you're as long as you are, but you're also able to like your idea is to get in there and make it a fight. Is like I don't think Stephen Thompson. I think the range is gonna be just an issue for Stephen Thompson, even though he's really good at making sure it's not an issue. I think Kevin Holland's just too long, and he's a lot faster. But it's also I don't know. This is also a hard fight to call though. Like if I was wrong on this, like let's say Stephen Thompson goes out there and just does exactly what you're saying, is that he keeps him at bay. He's able to just sidekick, create the distance, and make it a very technical fight, and he wins. Like I would be understandable of that too. I wouldn't be upset with that.
It could go either way, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the reason we're excited to talk about this card, and that's why we wanted to differentiate this one between the other free cards because they're not obvious.
Yeah.
Every fight's could go either way. But yeah, I think Kevin Holland wins by utilizing wrestling and getting a decision or a submission.
Yeah. So.
But if it stays on the feet, Stephen Thompson.
So take my opinion and throw it out the window. Stephen
That's
Thompson
just
by
my
decision.
opinion.
I'm just kidding,
What?
but no. So I think definitely though. Like if I think it does go the way you say it does. Stephen Thompson. Well, with the feet, because I don't really see the ground being initiated.
I don't either. Again, unless like we were saying, unless Kevin Holland wants to win and wants to go for a title, he's going to be the one to initiate it. Stephen Thompson's not going to do that.
No. So.
Yeah, that brings us to Brian Barberena and RDA, which is going to be really freaking fun because Brian Barberena lately just is incapable of being boring.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to stop.
And he hasn't he's never really been boring, but he's becoming like more recognizable to the fans with him and his like really really shitty mohawk that he probably cuts himself. So I don't know, man. Don't like the haircut at all. It's kind of like how you feel about what's that dude's name with the mullet? the bantamweight.
The small guy, Ricky
Ricky
Simone.
Simone, like when he had
Yeah,
his haircut, the way you felt about that is how I feel about Barberina's haircut.
it's the same haircut,
Yeah,
man.
it's just oh man,
One's just longer.
yeah, a lot longer. And he's missing a tooth on top of that. Like, but RDA is now. I feel like if RDA is who the fighter he is now, though, he's much more respected now. You know, like his run to the title as a lightweight champion, even at welterweight, he got very close. I think he fought for the interim title. Um, people really never really cared for him. People just kind of brushed him off. Was like whatever, because he got associated with fighting McGregor and all that. Back in when McGregor was at his peak. And so now we see RDA take he fought Renato Moicano, and it's like watching the internet community, like the react to that fight and how much respect they gave RDA is like, man, okay, so
It
people
was nice
actually
to see.
people actually recognize him, and so, but his pace is go, unless he's fighting a wrestler. Because the wrestlers are really able to dictate their pace with him, especially if they're bigger than him. Also, that's another thing. But
I think Barberena's bigger than him as well.
Barberena is bigger than him, but he's not a wrestler though, not at all. And Barberena will take 10 to give one type.
Yeah. That one's probably gonna rock you.
He's gonna rock your fucking world, man. He's got power. We saw against Robbie Lawler. Him and Robbie Lawler fucking went at it. That was such a fun fight, dude. And I don't know. It's just I don't. Barberena's gonna try to make this a dog fight, and I don't know if RDA is gonna like allow that to happen. Because you also have that as well. Because RDA has his pace he's trying to set.
After what we saw Brian Barberena withstand with freaking Matt Brown,
Yeah,
and then against Robbie Lawler, I don't know what RDA is going to use to put him out.
that was such a hard fight to watch with him and Robbie because like we finally saw like Robbie kind of shake the cobwebs out.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen him fight like that in so long. And then he went out and loses. But to lose to a guy like Brian Barberena, though, I mean, I respect Brian Barberena a lot.
Couple of warriors who go out on their shields.
And that's what they did. They just went out there and threw down, man. And if RDA goes out there and has makes it, and also just agrees and just meets him in the middle, makes it a dogfight, be like, this is why people like RDA. But it's gonna be a good one. I think. Man, I really don't know who to pick on this one. This is what you just mentioned though. Is like it's pretty even.
Yeah.
Because I could see why Barberino would win. Because he's very durable and he's a lot bigger than RDA. RDA just his last fight was at 155.
Yeah.
So I always feel like whenever you go up to a weight class that's especially a 15-pound difference, that adjustment to putting on like not only like having the cardio, having the strength to keep up with these guys because they aren't smaller than you.
And just being bigger, you have more mass behind you, so
Yeah.
you can take more hits. Unless you're Todd Duffy.
Yeah.
But with RDA, it's just other than his last fight, like how often have we seen him get knocked out? So you don't see him get knocked out super often. He's pretty durable as well.
I'm actually thinking when was the last time I saw him get knocked out? Yeah.
Other than Fiziev. But
okay.
But I don't know, man. I think this is going to go to decision. I think it's going to be two dead tired guys still throwing strikes, and one of them is eventually going to fall over, and the rest just going to be like, okay, that's enough.
See, you're about to pull up a Dada 5000. Like we gotta call it. The ref stop the match. I don't know. I think if we're taking in the aspect of also gas tanks as well, though, consider that. I think I'm gonna have to go RDA.
He's probably got better cardio than Barberena, but I don't think that RDA's cardio is going to look a whole lot better against Barberena's pace.
Yeah, because Barberena does have one hell of a pace, and it doesn't stop even when he gets hurt.
Because you look at Robbie Lawler's cardio, you look at Matt Brown's cardio. They generally have pretty good cardio. They've done it for 5 rounds before.
Yeah.
Well, Robbie Lawler's done it for 5 rounds before, but you see how they looked against Brian Barberena.
Yeah.
And they were exhausted.
Yeah, that's a great point to bring up because also whenever you're taking damage, that messes with your cardio as well.
It messes with your breathing. It messes with your mentality. It's going to be a really fun back and forth fight, but I'm going to give it to Barberena just because of the size.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to be able to withstand what RDA can do.
Yeah.
For 15 minutes, but I don't think RDA can withstand what Brian Barberena can do for 15 minutes.
I'm gonna have to go with you on that one, man, because RDA, whenever he, like I said before, is like he fights that even though they were against his losses at welterweight were against wrestlers, just having that keep it matching his pace, but also having that power advantage over them and the strength advantage. he wasn't able to react well to it. And
Yeah.
so I think so. I think I agree with you though.
If RDA really wants to win this fight, he should take it to the ground. But I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to do that.
And I think he could get Barberina down though.
I think he could.
Yeah.
I just don't think he'll try. I don't think he is going to want to.
Yeah.
Like he's going to want to make it a fun fight because that's the mentality he's at now. Is
just wants to
he's
fight.
trying to command respect from people using his striking. Like that's how I feel like that's how he sees it. His fight against Moicano, like he could have taken that fight down and submitted it way earlier, but he just stayed on the feet because he was winning and he looked good. So why not?
Yeah. I gotta agree with you though. I think Barberina takes it by a decision. Or knockout if there is a finish, I think it's gonna be Barberina.
Yeah.
Unless,
I think so as well.
So, yeah, man, that's definitely one hell of a fight to look forward to.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on that one, please.
We don't have to talk about this next fight because Matt Schnell is going to win by submission.
Yeah, or he's gonna put some Corley's Corley special on him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's up. Tai Tuivasa versus Sergey Pavlovich. I am fucking thrilled for this fight. Like,
yeah, that's going to be a pretty wild fight. Both guys always make it exciting. I think if there is a real heavy underdog situation, it's this fight because I feel like everyone's going to assume Ty's got this.
Yeah.
But I think where we've seen Ty struggle is with people who can kind of hang with him with the hands and work some clinch game. And I think Sergey can do both of that.
I think he can do all of it. You know,
so I would not be surprised if Sergey wins this by getting a TKO on the ground.
I wish this was the main event. Sometimes, this could be a main event, because this fight
I'm surprised it's not co-main event.
Yeah, or something. There's definitely not a mid-card slump on this.
No.
It's a great fight. Sergey Pavlovich is coming off of a knockout against win against Derek Lewis. And even though it was controversial, I think that was beginning of the end though.
I hate to say it, but I'm very okay with that stoppage. It sucks, but
yeah. Because I fucking love Derek Lewis, but I don't like Pavlovich had him hurt. He just had the Christopher boxing and he let him up. And like you said before, is like with Tai Tuivasa, it's just he could anytime he could just sleep anybody. But whenever he goes against the guy whenever the fight goes on past this for the first round against somebody who has shown more crisp stand up, he struggles against them.
Yeah.
We saw it recently against Cyril Gahn. I don't think this fight
was fun.
Yeah, that fight was such a fun fight, but I don't think this fight goes all 3 rounds. I think there's definitely a knockout of this one.
Yeah.
I think Pavlovich gets it, to be honest with you. I don't think he even bothers to go to the ground.
I think he and Ty get into it a little bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of them get hurt, but I feel like Ty could hurt Sergey first. This is like a real detailed prediction, but I feel like Ty is going to hurt Sergey. Sergey's going to be throwing back the whole time.
Yeah.
He's going to catch Ty. Ty's going to stumble over, and he's going to get on top of Ty and hit him and finish him.
Yeah, he's going to bite down the mouthpiece and just go at it. If
that happens, I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs.
What are you going to scream?
Just,
But, yeah, no, it's gonna be one hell of a fight though, man. I think Pavlovich gets it done, but if I fucking love Tai Tuivasa, dude. So if he wins, I'll be more than happy that he wins. Just I don't know, but this is also a fight where Ty's fighting below him in the ranking, so he's showing why he's in the top. He's in one of the top heavyweights in the division. Yeah. I'm sure he wants to get back into the title picture. If he doesn't, I'm sure he just wants to just knock people out and drink as much as he can.
And he'll be happy doing it.
Yeah,
he's had his title run, and I think he is a competitor, so he is going to try to go for it again. But if something happens and kind of derails it again, I think he's just going to be happy to be in there fighting. Yeah.
And so this is one of those fights. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I go with Pavlovich, but I can't even really pick on this one, though, to be honest with you.
It could go either way.
Yeah, I just hope for a fun fight, and one hell of a knockout. Then we also got 2 middleweight fights opening up the card. You got Jack Hermanson taking on Roman Dolidze. I'm giving every aspect of this fight to Jack Hermanson.
You think so?
Yeah, I am.
Jack's stand-up has gotten way better.
Yeah.
But I think Roman is, I don't want to say better on the feet, but I think he brings more to the table on the feet.
He's more versatile, you feel?
Yeah, he hits harder.
Yeah.
He's not a technical boxer. He's going to if he lands on Jack, he's gonna hurt him. I think.
Yeah, Jack Hermanson, when he doesn't react well to power, we saw it against Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier's power is something
Yeah,
of
it's
fucking
different.
legends, though. It is hard to compare, but I mean, just so we saw Jack Hermanson he's finally finding his stand up,
Yeah.
and we saw his stand up against
Sean Strickland.
Sean Strickland. Oh, Sean Strickland pieced him up that fight.
Maybe
Chris
I'm thinking of
Curtis.
Chris Curtis. Yeah.
Chris Curtis, yeah. But
My bad.
yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
I don't know things sometimes.
It's hey, dude, it's okay. I don't know a lot of things. I don't even know how I get along, get around
We're not
sometimes.
even in the business of knowing things except fights.
Yeah.
I don't even know that.
Yeah,
But
shit.
yeah, so Chris Curtis got pieced up by Jack Hermanson. You never think you'd say it, but there it is.
Yeah.
But if it goes to the ground, I don't think Dolidze is going to be able to keep up with them.
No, but
Yeah.
I don't see it going to the ground because like I see some clinches, but I see both guys, at a stalemate, because of how good both these guys are on the ground. But I think when it comes down to the hands, we've seen this evolution of Jack Hermanson coming up in with Roman Dolidze. He's always been a solid fighter, all around good. But Jack Hermanson when it comes down to it, I think he's just able to really pick his shots a lot better. He landed some great shots.
I was about to say, I think he's the smarter fighter.
Yeah, 100%. That's why he won that fight against Chris Curtis. I mean, to beat a guy like Chris Curtis, you have to fight smart. That dude has dynamite in his hands. But I think that's one hell of a fight, though. Also, I think it's a great fight.
Yeah, I think that one should be really fun. The one before it, another middleweight fight, like you said, Eric Anders and Kyle Dawkins.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really fun first round.
That's the best way to put that.
If it goes past the first round, I don't see why Kyle Dawkins doesn't take it. No offense to Eric Anders, just that's how his fights go.
Yeah.
But boy, does he make that first round fun.
Dude.
The only time he stood there and made every round fun was against freaking Khalil Roundtree, and I don't understand how he did that.
Yeah, because he was getting his legs kicked out from under him.
Destroyed.
Yes, dude, it was bad. He has had a ton of fun fights, but like you said, like it's just when it came down to the gas tank, it's just not there.
Because he just explodes in that first round.
Yeah.
With everything he has.
That's all he wants is the knockout, and I mean he makes it fun. But Kyle Dawkins, he's a pretty smart fighter. He needs a win. He's coming off of a loss to Roman Dolidze, by knockout. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he needs a win, but yeah, like you said, I think it's just I give it after probably like a minute 45 into the fight, it's all Kyle Dawkins after that.
I don't know, man. I think that first round will be mostly Eric Anders unless he slips up and gets taken down.
Yeah.
If he gets taken down, I think he messes up and gets submitted.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see it going down like that as well. But but I don't know. I remember when Eric Anders started coming up. It was like
fun to watch.
It was a ton of fun to watch, and he fought Thiago Santos. Do you remember that fight?
Yeah.
That was such a fun fight.
Was good.
He just literally passed out from exhaustion. Not actually passed out.
I was
but
about to say he looked like he was about to die.
Yeah, he I remember his coach picked him up.
I was about to say he couldn't get up.
He couldn't get up, dude. I think it was after the second round. Like he literally got up and then he just collapsed onto the ground. And then the ref's like, "Can you continue?" And I'm like, he can't even talk back to you. He's so tired. But that was a fucking dogfight, dude. And That's where I think he has the edge, though, is because Kyle Dawkins doesn't get into dogfights. Him and Chris are very, very smart fighters. And does he have
it? And Kevin Holland, though, was pretty solid.
Phil Rowe, and remember what Phil Rowe did to Kyle Dawkins?
But look what Kyle Dawkins did to Kevin Holland.
He headbutted him.
Yeah, and knocked him out.
Yeah, then he choked him out. He's 2-0, dude.
That was a pretty good scuffle there.
That was.
So I'm just saying, you see what? Yes, it was a headbutt.
Yeah,
but. What you were saying was Kevin Holland makes a really good dogfight in those kinds of exchanges. And so that's what he was doing against Kyle. But I think Kyle was doing a pretty good job of keeping up with it.
Yeah, he was matching the pace pretty well.
And I think Anders has a different style in the same regard. He does make it a dogfight. He does get in close and fight like those kind of exchanges. But he brings an explosiveness that Kevin Holland doesn't.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle probably could handle that better than he did against Kevin Holland.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about the range with like Kevin Holland. So he is a little smaller than I'm sorry, Eric Anders is a
Yeah.
little smaller than Kyle Dawkins. Actually, probably a lot smaller. It feels like because Kyle Dawkins is really. I was remember when he had like a reverse full Nelson in DC's like he's so long, and fucking Kevin Holmes he's so long DC. He's just. But yeah, man, that's the main card. I mean, there's still some great fights on this preliminary card, which I will always fucking preach about watching these preliminary cards, dude.
This is gonna be one of the best prelim cards.
Yeah.
Early, the first few fights, Yasmin Waregi, I think is how it's said. I've seen her fight before. She's very fun. My money's on her. Marcelo Rojo, my money's on him. Natan Levy, my money's on him.
Bet the fucking house, dude.
Those are gonna be the winners there. They're so good. But then you get into Tracy Cortez and Amanda Ribas. That fight's gonna be really fun. I think it's not that Tracy Cortez is some kind of like striking master or anything, but I think that's a kind of a striker versus grappler situation there.
The UFC commentary would say different compared to about his last fight.
Yeah, well,
about her last fight. Fuck.
Her jiu-jitsu is not going to be as good as Amanda Ribas.
No, it is not. But I don't know. I freaking love Amanda Ribas, dude. She's hilarious and she's so much fun.
She seems very genuine.
Yeah,
and she's just happy to be there. She understands her situation and the privilege that she has as being in the UFC. So I think that is going to lend itself to having a good long career. And I think it starts now.
Yeah, and she's at flyweight as well. So I think maybe she might be enjoying not having to cut so much weight down to strawweight. So, but I'm definitely going for Amanda Ribas by submission in that fight. I think she's going to go out and just show she is somebody that has a name in a new division as well. Elkins and Pierce, that's another fun fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I think that'll be a pretty well-rounded fight. I think you'll see a very classic MMA fight there.
Yeah.
But I do think it could go to decision, and if it does, Elkins takes it.
Yeah.
Jonathan Pierce is pretty fun to watch, but he's gonna have to finish Elkins if he wants to win that fight.
Yeah, and which is not easy at all.
No, it isn't. Which is what makes that fun.
Yeah, even though he's gotten older, it's still not easy to finish him. You know. Then you got Mark, what's his name? Michael Johnson taking on Mark Diakase.
Diakase.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like that fight. I hope. Mark Diakase has really embraced his wrestling lately, and I'd be a fan of it if he did more with it.
Yeah.
He gets guys down, finds a good position, and then kind of like rides it out.
Whoa, dude.
And punch the guy.
Yeah.
Like
position and punish.
Yeah. Everyone hated on GSP, but you look at the guys he fought, like they were pretty beat up.
He had guys quit from exhaustion.
Yeah, and you look at what he did against freaking Nick Diaz. Everyone was like, "Oh, GSP was just laying and praying." And I'm like, he was ragdolling Nick Diaz. He would get his back and then throw him. The second he started losing position, he would just throw him back down.
Watch that first round and you just watch the whole fight.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
But Mark is kind of definitely falling into that, and I understand he's trying to get and make a pretty strong winning streak because he started losing fights and he didn't like it, so he wants to win. I get that.
Yeah.
Michael Johnson's a wrestler, and I think people forgot.
But I think Michael Johnson forgot he's a wrestler too.
Maybe, but you look at who he looked bad against in grappling, and who was it?
Of course, Khabib. Yeah. Dude, fucking Uncle Cheld said that Sambo doesn't really work. Come on, can we?
Khabib doesn't use Sambo. He uses wrestling, and I just sent you a TikTok about that.
It was hilarious.
But I think that fight, Mark's gonna have to bring back that striking if he wants to win that, because Michael Johnson's gonna be in his face.
Yeah,
he's not gonna get taken down super easy. If he does, I think the scrambles are gonna be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, I think Michael Johnson is gonna make that a fun fight. Not Mark Diakase.
Yeah, exactly. And Mark needs to establish his range early if he wants to win that fight, but I don't think he does.
Yeah, I'm trying to pronounce his name in my head. Diakase.
I just say Diakase.
Yeah, I think that's different. That sounds more right than how I'm saying it. But yeah, you got Clay Guida take on Scott Holtzman.
Scott Holtzman.
Scott, fuck
Scott Holtzman.
yeah, Scott Holtzman. I mean, yeah, Clay Guida.
Anytime Clay Guida steps in the cage, I'm having fun. I love watching him fight so much. I always have. Him fighting Scott Holtzman. Scott Holtzman makes it a fun fight. I feel like Clay Guida can win this one, but I'm not like looking at it as from like a political standpoint. I'm trying to figure out if I think that they're trying to get rid of Clay or if they're trying to get rid of Scott. I can't really tell.
Fuck, somebody's getting fired after this one for sure.
Yeah, like not that I think that someone's getting fired. I just think they're trying to like figure out, all right, who do we need to start looking at to get rid of?
Yeah,
because Clay is pretty spotty lately. He's obviously not making a title run anytime soon. Scott's on a 2-fight losing streak, and it hasn't been good. They were not good fights for him.
Right.
So it's going to be a really fun fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets finished in the first round.
Right.
Because I think both guys are going to go after it.
Yeah, they have to. You know, I mean, not that they have to, but I mean, I think if one of them has a boring win, it's gonna still put a damper on that. Yeah. You know, and so Angela Hill is taking on Emily Ducote.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really fun fight. I always like watching Angela Hill fight, but I have really liked watching Emily Ducote fight. Ducote, however it's pronounced. I don't know, man. She's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Her and Angela Hill, I think, make for a really fun fight. I think Angela Hill's kind of dealt with having to fight a lot of grapplers, and when she doesn't, it just doesn't work out for her. Or when she does, it doesn't work out for her, and it's kind of annoying. But I don't think Emily Ducote does that. I think Emily and Angela have a pretty fun back and forth striking match.
Yep. So be a fun decision fight. So Nico Price is taking on Phil Rowe in the prelim headliner.
That is as good of a prelim headliner as you can get.
Yeah.
Nico Price is freaking insane. I love watching that guy fight. Philip Rowe is just as exciting. I hate to say it, but I think Nico Price gets knocked out.
I do too. I really like Nico, but it's just
it's unfortunate, but it always happens to him.
Phil Rowe has some really good boxing. He has great hands. Earlier I said Kyle Dawkins fought Phil Rowe. I meant Phil Halls. The last names confused me for a second, but
in my mind, I fixed it for you.
Yeah, you knew who I was talking about, but
I didn't even question it.
Yeah, I caught it right now because I was looking at his name when we were reading off the names, but yeah, man, Phil Rowe has incredible hands. Like, he's fun to watch, and he's really, really long. Nico has shown to be very unorthodox. You don't know exactly. He can knock you out from anywhere,
and that costs him sometimes.
Yeah, he fought somebody who was just as unorthodox as him,
if not more unorthodox.
Yeah, he stomped on his head. They did nothing about it.
Like twice. I think it was twice.
Fucking dude, who was the ref for that fight? Was it Keith Peterson? I think it was Keith Peterson. It's
probably freaking Steve Mazzagatti. Who knows, man?
Fucking felt like it was, dude. Or Yamasaki was just like, let them be warriors.
Dude, people are petitioning to bring Yamasaki back to the UFC, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
I would fucking love it though. It would be so dangerous. Like if he was I walked down and saw Yamasaki was fighting, like reffing my fight, I'd be like, I need to fucking make sure I do not lose because he's gonna let me die in there.
Yeah.
Like.
I think Nico Price, unfortunately, I think he gets caught at some point with a really clean combination and gets finished.
I feel like he's kind of falling into that medium that fighters fall into, and when they're kind of on going back and forth with their career, is they just don't really let push on the gas at all.
Yeah.
You know, and we saw that against Michel Pereira. Is like, you know, in the third round he finally like lets it go and starts going.
He looked good.
He looked great.
Too late.
But it was too late to win the fight. Like, exactly. And so I feel like Nico Price is falling into that. He's not really pushing on the gas anymore because he's gotten finished for doing so. It's like you know,
rein it in a little bit. Be a little less unorthodox. There's nothing wrong with being unorthodox. Look at Anthony Pettis. And I know your whole thing is Anthony Pettis wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Anthony Pettis is known for being unorthodox, but when you watch his fights, that's not the whole fight. That's just like one or two parts of the fight.
Yeah.
The reason he was so good is because fundamentally his jiu-jitsu and his taekwondo were really freaking good.
Yeah.
So when using his fundamentals to make them create mistakes, that's when he would get a little unorthodox and make the flashy stuff land. And I hope Nico can do that.
Yeah,
because that'd be cool to see.
it would be fun to see. That's a great fight.
His
Yeah, I think,
shoulders,
dude,
are crazy,
they're
dude.
out. They're
Just-
like
freaking like.
it's like if I was like, you got my shoulders and fucking flipped them the other way. That's what his shoulders look like. Like they're I don't know, they're awkward, but like it's just the way it looks, man. I don't
Like
know.
he should really start working on like Greco-Roman wrestling and then just stabbing people in the face with his shoulders,
Dude, holy shit.
because
Yeah.
they're pretty crazy looking.
Yeah, he's got some weird looking shoulders,
Yeah.
man. Those fucking things stick out. But I don't know, man. This is actually the first time we've actually gotten in detail of the whole card in a
Yeah.
while, man.
And it only took 35 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, but it's to say that though. The reason why I bring that up though is because it's a testament to how solid I feel like this card is.
It really is. It's worth talking about. Maybe it doesn't mean a whole lot in terms of like rankings or stature for their division, but it's a really fun fight card, and again, it's free.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
Yeah, it's just like it's free and it's stacked. It's like it's stacked in the sense of like they're just even fights. Like
Yeah.
these can go either way. They don't have to be these big names. They don't have to be. It doesn't have to be for the championship for you to sit and watch it. You know, sometimes like there's fights that come on. Like I said before, is like I put them on while I'm playing Call of Duty or some shit. You know, I'm just hanging on my day off, and when the fight that comes on that I want to watch, I just leave the lobby and I sit down and I watch it. You know.
And we're coming off of the Adesanya Pahea card, which was another one that was considered for, or being considered for part card of the year.
Yeah.
I think this one could do it, and if a free fight card can do it, man, that'd be so. I'd be so happy.
Yeah.
That one, and then the Santos and Hill card. That one was a free one.
Yeah,
that one was
UFC,
really
the
freaking
first
good.
UFC London was a free one as well,
and
you
that
know?
was amazing.
Yeah, that was a great card.
This is the year of the free cards.
Yeah,
Take advantage of it. Watch them.
and I'll also you should take advantage of it because this is the second. I want to say there's only 2 more cards in the year after this one that are left, and then we're not gonna have another fight card until January 14th.
Yeah,
and I think, but I know for sure. We're coming up on probably a month without UFC, so that means we got to find some shit to talk about. So
dude, one.
Yeah.
I'm down to talk about these one cards, man.
Dude,
one has been pretty freaking
I'm gonna
crazy.
mispronounce his name. Ryder de Rene.
Reiner de Ritter.
Yeah,
He's defending the belt.
this Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna be really fun. He's fun to watch. His jiu-jitsu is so good, or his grappling is so good.
December 17th is the last UFC card for the year. So yeah, he's an all around good fighter. I would like to see him get a run in the UFC. That would be fun. But he's also at 32 years old, you know.
And he's making a ton of money in one.
Yeah, so why not just stay there?
Yeah, he'll
you
stay
know?
in one. I would.
Yeah, I wish
All those guys are gonna stay in one.
with the most recent PFL card also though, man, like you know,
Brendan Loughnane winning the 1 million.
yeah, he wins the 1 million after not getting a UFC contract for shooting for a takedown the last 10 seconds of his Contender Series fight, but still put on one hell of a fight. They threw down. And Dana White even said, I was going to give a contract to both guys until he did that. And it's like, how much? First of all, you're a fucking piece of shit for that.
Yeah.
Because this guy literally, like, Brendan Loughnane even had a video of him, like, this is kind of gross, but his piss in a fucking toilet and was like, I'm peeing blood after that fight. And he doesn't give me a contract as I shot for a takedown 10 seconds in the last round. And people were like, well, it was a boring fight. Fuck that. That wasn't a boring fight that he had. Go
It
back
was a
and
really
watch
good
that
fight. And this just is a testament to UFC's not, and we posted this, UFC's not the end all be all for fight organizations.
Yeah.
One is very good. PFL is very good. I do think PFL could, over the next couple of years, improve their roster a lot.
Yeah.
I think they will anyway. Because it was good, and then a lot of those guys retired because they won $1 million.
They were like, okay,
which
cool.
is Dana White's big issue with paying fighters. But right now they have a lot of quote unquote UFC rejects, like Brendan Loughnane or Chris Wade was in the UFC and got cut.
Yeah.
But Chris Wade's one of the more fun fighters to watch there. I think he struggles with learning when to pull the trigger, but that's kind of the thing, is he's learning and didn't really get that chance in the UFC.
No, and he actually had a pretty good fight against Islam Makhachev as well.
Yeah.
That's saying something because most guys don't have good fights against him. But yeah, I think I think after, you know, also though, like you know, the PFL put on their first pay-per-view, and you know they were splitting the pay-per-view revenue half with the fighters, and I think that's great that they're doing that. But I think that for any fighter out there, if I know the end goal has always been the UFC because it's the most prestigious organization in the world when it comes to MMA. Because you're never really considered an actual champion until you win the UFC
Yeah.
belt. And just what my thing about that is, man, is like when it comes to being a fighter, it's just like having the belts and the legacy is nice and all, but I mean, your body can only
And
do this for so long, so why not make as much money as you can while
you
you do
use
it?
the word prestigious.
Yeah,
To anybody who's made it this far in this podcast,
yeah,
you use the word prestigious, attach
Right.
it to a UFC event, and then go watch a one event,
Yeah.
one FC. Which one looks more prestigious?
Exact-
Like go watch a title card from the UFC versus a title card from one.
yeah,
One makes a huge deal about their title fights. They make a huge deal about all their fights, but they make it a whole spectacle. So I think prestige from like a visual standpoint, one all the way.
right.
How they treat their fighters, the kind of respect they give their fighters, one all the way. The amount of money they pay their fighters, one all the way. Like one is very, very good. I think that's my favorite
I was
organization
about
right
to say,
now.
you sound like this is your favorite
I
organization.
love watching the one fights. What's so cool about them is they have not just MMA fights, but they have Muay Thai they have Muay Thai fights, kickboxing matches. They have jiu-jitsu matches. They do a lot of stuff because they're a martial arts organization, not just an MMA organization.
Yeah,
And then they're worldwide. They pride themselves on being worldwide
yeah,
versus America and Brazil.
and yeah, that's where I feel like the UFC falls short. Is they have guys that they'll just I feel like they just kind of corner the market with
Yeah,
certain people,
and
then
they do.
don't-
That's absolutely what it is.
they don't ever have them compete. There's a lot of fighters that it's like I don't know why this guy is not getting more fights more often. He's fighting like once a year at this point. What are you gonna say?
I just remember that Christian Lee fight was really freaking good.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
You should go. I'll send it to you. It was
But
really good.
Yeah. Also, our boy Alexis Chavarria finally had his fight. Remember, you wanted to talk
Yeah,
about
that's
this.
right. Alexis, buddy.
Yeah.
That was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good first round. Really fun from both guys. I think Matt Munoz showed up for that fight, expecting it to be a little better, but Alexis came out of the gate swinging, and Matt Munoz didn't back down. He fired right back every step of the way, but Alexis was landing better and harder. And if you look at some of those exchanges, Matt Munoz was almost falling over, and one time he did fall over, maybe twice. But because of a cut that Matt Munoz got on Alexis over his eye,
But
it was like way up on his forehead, and it's bleeding like way down into his face.
yeah, but it wasn't exactly the plan though, right? Exactly what Matt Munoz
Yeah,
trained
so apparently Matt Munoz, I'm gonna find it, on Facebook posted how it went exactly according to plan. Like he planned for it to be a first round TKO. First of all, I wouldn't pride myself on calling it a first round TKO because it wasn't. It was in between rounds. I understand that that's technically a first round TKO, but that's not what I would call it. And you were losing that fight. The commentators called you out in the middle of that round saying he's not going to be able to keep this up. He's already wilting. And I think, who was it? Oh, I'm blanking on who the commentators were. That's really annoying. Anyway, both of them were saying the second this first round starts, Alexis is going to turn it on and Matt Munoz is not going to be able to. He can try, but he won't. And then they started noticing the doctor walking up and they're like, oh no, that's exactly what happened. Everyone in Alexis's corner was like, oh no. And then the ref stops it. Alexis is pleading for him not to, but he still stops it. They wave it off and Matt Munoz just jumps in the air and is just so pumped. And I'm like, dude, grow up.
Yeah.
First of all, act like you've been there before with a win. But second of all, we all know why you're that excited. Because you knew you weren't going to win that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was a crazy first round. It was a fun fight. Like you said, I enjoyed watching it whenever I finally got to sit and watch it. But, if everybody in the arena knows you're about to wilt and then after that you cut the guy and then the fight gets stopped. I don't know, man. It's like winning a fight by injury. You don't really gloat about winning a fight by injury. And I feel like winning a fight by a cut is the same exact thing, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, I understand it happens, and I'm fine with it being counted as a win, but
Yeah.
I don't like the approach he took, especially when you're ranked and your opponent's not. But
Yeah. And
to
you're in the
brag
A
about
side
it.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
You're already over in the fight. When it comes to over and under, you're already over. So it's
yeah.
like I don't really get what's the whole point behind that at all. Like you said, act like you've been there. Have some humility because of the fight. Because if that fight would, because I guarantee that fight would have the second round, Alexis would have had a
And
field day.
that's what I'm saying. It
Yeah,
wasn't that he was so like pumped to have won the fight. It was that I think it was relief. I
yeah,
think he was glad that he won the fight because if that had gone on, he felt those leg kicks.
yeah.
You could tell.
And I mean, he was throwing some heavy leather too, though, as well.
Yeah,
But
like
I
I said,
mean,
he didn't back down.
yeah.
It's just again, the commentators even said it.
You set the pace, and Alexis is gonna meet it.
Yeah.
Alexis loves a heavy pace like that, and he hit Alexis with some good shots. But Alexis is also very durable as well. But I mean, it sucks to see Alexis go out like that. It's just, but like you said, just act like you've
He
been there
knows what's
before.
up.
So yeah, man. So
Yeah. That's this upcoming UFC card. Go ahead and give us your thoughts, please. Let
Yeah.
us know your picks. Follow us on Instagram, Devin the Bear. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe. Help us out. We're hoping to get a few more fighters on soon. There's a lot of stuff going on with Fury the end of this month and starting in January. So we're hoping to be able to have some guys on, talk about that. And then we got hopefully some news with some other guys, and we'll keep you all updated.